Am I the a-hole for suggesting a DNA test swap with mother-in-law over paternity doubts? I, 30, met my husband Steven, 32, at a friend's cousin's party. We instantly connected and started dating not long after. We have been happily married for 5 years and have a 4-month-old son. I met my mother-in-law at his uncle's funeral, and he asked me to attend in support of him. Before we left, his cousin warned me about mother-in-law. He said she wasn't the nicest person. She had impossibly high standards to meet, and can be judgmental, so don't take it personally, as she's like that with everyone. I did ask my husband and he agreed that mother-in-law can be quite judgmental, but not to worry, that he will be there for me. I felt like they gave me her sugar-coated version because she was terrible. She made a scene about bringing a stranger to a family funeral, but my husband cut her off and said his aunt, who was his uncle's widow, said he could. She spent the rest of the funeral giving me nasty looks and making passive-aggressive comments. She made a scene at our wedding, but that's a different story on its own. But after minimal contact with mother-in-law, my husband eventually got around to telling her that I was pregnant. I expected her to be angry and have a go at him, but she surprised us both and was the complete opposite. She was excited about being a grandmother. She congratulated us. Her attitude did a complete turn, and I grudgingly allowed her to visit. When it was time to give birth to my son, she wanted to see my son being born, but I refused. That's when her ugly side reared its head again, and she caused a scene and was thrown out. I refused to let her visit us at home, and my husband agreed. But she rang crying and apologizing. She said she was just overwhelmed about being a grandmother and her emotions got the better of her. Against my better judgment, I relented and said, okay. When she first held him, she looked at me and said he was beautiful. I went into the kitchen to get a drink, and then heard my husband telling her to get out. I went back in. She started yelling. He needed to get the baby tested because he didn't look like anyone in their family. She took to social media and told everyone that I cheated on my husband and that my husband needed to get a DNA test to prove he was the dad. She got a lot of attention for that. So I made my post and said I'll get a test when she gets a test for her son. That just made everything worse. She rang my husband up telling him to take it down. He just hung up on her. Everyone divided and questioned my husband's paternity since she had such a strong reaction to it. Now even my husband is starting to wonder and making me feel I went too far. And I'm thinking, am I the a-hole for saying that?
Here are the top comments.
Not the a-hole. She doesn't sound stable at all, and I would be worried about what she would do around the child. Even if she was just another weirdly incestuous boy mom, that mood swing going from one extreme to another, in a blink of an eye, goes beyond a-hole into dangerous territory. Also, her demanding to see the birth and immediately taking to social media also indicates she has no concept of boundaries. To have someone like that around your child, even if she doesn't do anything drastic, could be very damaging. Also, if she wants to make her delusions public, she can handle your public response. If you don't want a witch hunt, don't make a pyre.
Maybe not the nicest way to handle, but when you deal with crap, your hands are bound to get dirty. Keep holding your ground and just tell her to stop spouting lies about you on social media, or you will continue to embarrass her on your own account, and she can face the consequences of her own actions.